Hi, Simone. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, that's good. Well, first, I would like to start off with just a quick question about your solo album,
Mhm.
Vermillion. It's been 1 year now. How do you look back on that process, making music with Arjen?
Yeah, that was a dream come true and kind of a project that was in the making already since a couple of years. Or I had the idea of doing an album with Arjen. I reached out to him. We worked together already a couple of times, but we never did a full album together. And the time had finally come last year to really sit together and write, yeah, music and record vocals. Did it in the studio. I went there many times, and yeah, it was definitely a bucket list item. And I think I always thought that he was the right person for me to work with. I always loved working with him on all the Ayreon and Transitus music that he wrote. And yeah, I'm very, very happy that I can finally hold the LP and the CD in my hands. And yeah, it's definitely amazing.
What was it like for you to work with him? Because you had thoughts about working with him, or what was it like now working on a whole album with him? What did you, well, what did you learn? What did you, what was the vibe?
Well, Arjen is definitely a musical genius and like a musical centipede, you know, he can do everything, muzikale duizendpoot, a hard worker, and he wrote the songs for me with my voice in his mind. He knew what I could do with my voice. And yeah, I fell in love with all the songs that he wrote. It was really, yeah, amazing for me to work with him. Recording vocals with him is so much fun and so quick in a way. And it's like exchanging positive vibes. And I think he got the best result out of me. And I learned a lot from that, that I could do more with my voice than I thought I could, which I could then also integrate for the new Epica album as well. And yeah, it's a very beautiful album which shows all the different facets of my voice. And Arjen did an amazing job in giving me, uh, yeah, the stage to sing my heart out, literally and figuratively.
Good. In what way did he challenge you with your voice that you now, well, you maybe used on the new Epica album? What did he challenge you?
Well, normally, for example, with Epica, we have extra singers who also record backing vocals. I do a couple, but then we have two or sometimes three other ladies doing that. But for Vermillion, I did it all myself. So he let me sing many different choirs, many different harmonies. And it was really beautiful to hear like a big choir existing or consisting out of my own voice, you know, that he had all those melodies stacked, programmed, and then he showed me the melody, then I sang it, and a couple of minutes later there was a full Simone choir, and then I told him, let's do another higher one on top. He's like, you sure you want to do it? And I thought, okay, why not? You know, I felt very free working with him and very safe in a way. And I think that's very important to have a good connection with uh, the person you write music with, but also the recording engineer, you know, recording vocals, singing. It's you have to have a good connection with the person you're working with. And yeah, he gave me a lot of positive feedback, and yeah, it made me a better singer for
Yeah.
sure.
And what did you bring from that experience into the new Epica album?
To not think maybe too much in boxes, think outside of the box, and yeah, experiment, I guess, with the voice, and know that I think for a lot of singers, you often are afraid of certain things that you think, ah, that's maybe not my strongest suit, and that kind of limits you in a way. But if you can let go of that, then you know, let go of the fear of your insecurities, you can do so much more with your vocals than you thought you could. So I definitely did that for Aspiral as well. I was singing my heart out for that one.
Yeah. Is there maybe one song that you say, well, this is typical of the growth that I achieved, and that I maybe couldn't have done 5 or 6 years ago? So
Uh, Maybe the song Obsidian Heart. That's really, I think, vocally like at the level of belting that I've done before, and listening to the song. I think part of it is vocal technique, but it's also the combination of putting in the emotion together with the vocal technique that really makes the listener feel what you're trying, the message you're trying to convey. And you are sometimes very exposed when you're singing. It's very personal, it's very private, and letting the emotions flow through your vocals without getting the little frog in your throat, because that sometimes happens, and it had happened to me before. It's finding the right balance into combining the technique and the emotions and making it sound good.
Yeah. Um, what was it like? Because the previous album, well, you did a project with Epica in between, but the previous full-length album was Omega.
Mhm.
What was it like to, well, to work with Arjen and then to return to the group again? What was the vibe for you?
Well, I really literally came off the train, finishing my last vocals for Vermillion and then going into the Epica writing camp location. And there the guys presented all the songs that were written, that they wrote, the demo versions for the new album. And yeah, it was totally different than what I did with Vermillion. And I felt, yeah, it's refreshing, of course, to do um, something with even the guys and I have been working together for so long. With each new album that you write, it's like a new start in a way. And I was in a creative mindset and felt very inspired and motivated and confident to get the best result for the new Epica album.
Yeah. When they presented the songs, what was your idea? What sort of, I don't know if you, because well, previous albums, what is the vibe then? If people present the songs, do you talk about, do you pick the songs already, and do you talk about, well, this direction the album is going to be, or
Well, there are five songwriters in the band, and they all have a different style. So, of course, it was a very eclectic collection of songs. And some demo songs were at a further stage than others. But the thing is that when a melody is good, a melody is good. And then we just started working on all the songs basically in the first week. And for the later writing sessions, we made a smaller selection of songs where we thought, okay, these really have the potential of, yeah, having a great end result. And then from there on, we started working more on the vocal lines, the lyrics. Our producer Joost was there. Everybody set up their home studio. Koen was working on the arrangement for the orchestra. Ayreon was programming drums, and everybody was just working on all the songs at the same time. And yeah, that is like a natural evolution of the songs. And also feeling like which songs are great for my type of voice, of course, for the vocal lines. And yeah, it's kind of chaotic because everybody's working on other songs at the same time, but under the guidance of our producer Joost, of course. And yeah, we worked our asses off on all the songs, and then of course there's always a painful moment where you have to make a final selection, and everybody has their personal favorites. But for us, the main goal was to get a cohesive album where we can show all the facets of Epica and all the strengths of all the five songwriters in the band.
yeah, and the when the guys first presented the songs, was there one song or maybe two songs maybe that stood out for you personally?
Oh, yeah, a couple, of course. It's very subjective. Everybody, we're six individuals with different music tastes. Of course, we all love metal. And everybody has their personal favorites. One of the songs that really struck me from the beginning, of course, it's no secret I love the ballads. I loved the song Aspiral from the beginning. which was written by Rob. Um, it's difficult for me to go back into thinking what the songs were called as a demo track. The titles, they changed, but I really love Obsidian Heart as well, which had a different title back then. And that song was even, I think it was one of the last songs we worked on that Rob presented me. And I thought, okay, I really like the vibe of the song, but he did not finish the song yet. It was still a really, really raw demo, but just something in the song, it clicks, you connect with it. It's your vibe. And that's definitely still one of my favorites at the end of the recording.
Yeah. And what I find interesting is that, well, a spiral, like you were saying, is the ballad, but the album is also called a spiral. Um, um, does this mean that this is a more like a center song of the album, a spiral? The more important maybe because of the album being called a spiral too?
Well, with this album, we were kind of striving for renewal, reinventing ourselves, keeping things interesting for us as a band, as individuals, and going through different stages in our lives. We're all mid-40 now. And A Spiral is a ballad. It's the last song on the album. And it was inspired by the sculpture from Sukalski, which is basically like post-war sculpture, a statue of a woman that's kind of, how do you say, evolving out of destruction, that after each end there is a new beginning and you have to, yeah, pick yourself up again. And this woman that's being reborn in a way. And it was a beautiful message that somehow really connected the dots on the majority of the songs, of us wanting to evolve as a band, as individuals, and yeah, growing spiritually as a band. And I think it was the best choice for us when we were at the end of the recording and we listened to all the songs and we were searching for the album title track. We felt the strongest connection with A Spiral.
Yeah. Can you say, well, you've been releasing albums in 2003, that one of the main reasons that Epica, well, still exists, maybe is because of more songwriters within the band?
I don't know why. I think it's definitely a luxury that we have so many songwriters in the band that with each album we start to sit together. We have a surplus of songs to
Yeah.
choose from, so we can really, in Dutch we say, pick the kranten uit de pap. We can get yeah. We never have a lack of songs. That's definitely a great thing, and every songwriter has their own strengths, and that all together is Epica. So I think we feel inspired, and we have probably many more years of inspiration and songs to write together. And everybody has their strong suits, and that's definitely a big strength in Epica and makes also the music so diverse.
Yeah. Is it for you, because, well, you've been, it's now over 20 years, Epica. How, for yourself, how do you keep your time in Epica and well, the songs and your singing, how does it stay fresh for you?
I think the passion for music is what is the fuel that keeps us going, and that I've been doing this indeed since more than half of my life, and Epica is in a way my life. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle. And I love traveling the world, I love singing, and if I don't sing, I don't feel like myself. So I guess it's a vital part of me, and yeah, music is such a beautiful thing, and I could not imagine a world or my world without music. I would always want to sing until my voice can't anymore.
Yeah. And in a way, can you say that for you to keep the fresh, that you say, well, bucket list, your first your solo album, was it important in the process too for you?
Well, it's something I had planned for the longest time, but I didn't have the right musical partner to do it with, nor the time in a way. And last year was 2024 was musically, it was a crazy year. I mean, doing Vermillion and Aspiral, and besides that, Epica had other projects like the Symphonic Synergy. Um, and I always thought I will do it when the time is right, when my schedule kind of clears. But and it was also, of course, I wanted to do it with Ayreon, and it also depended on his timing as well. But yeah, I don't think I would have managed to do it if it weren't with Ayreon, because he put so much time in the project, and he got it up and running really quickly and made it very easy for me to work with him. So yeah, if I had to sit on a piano and write the songs myself, the solo album might not even be out in the upcoming 5 years. So it was great that I got to do it with him, and I'm very happy. But 2024 was definitely a interesting year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have songs laying around that you wrote yourself?
I I only have lyrics and ideas of st like story ideas that I want to write, but I don't have songs lying here. Sometimes if I feel inspired, I pick up my phone and sing a melody or something like that, but no concrete songs, no.
No, no concrete song. Um, well, you said a spiral and obsidian heart. There are also three pieces: New Age Dawns, part 7, 8, and 9.
Mhm.
How come that now three parts of the New Age Dawns? What is the idea behind that?
Well, it's a storyline that Mark started. I think it was already, it was Consigned to Oblivion. He started it. And this is now our ninth album, and he wrote the lyrics for the songs that he wrote the music for, and he gave them part 7, 8, 9 of the New Age Dance to kind of conclude this story on our ninth album. So for him, the timing felt right to continue writing about this topic of spiritual growth and yeah, kind of reaching a level of consciousness in this chaotic world that we need to work together to make, to have a longer future on this planet.
If he writes the lyrics for those songs, do you still have input? I mean, you have to sing the songs, or is it just how do you work then with other people writing some lyrics then?
Well, Mark and I both write the lyrics, so we divide up the songs, the selection that we have made for the album, then we um, sit together or write emails like for which songs I want to write the lyrics for, or the songs I feel the strongest connection with. And it's always very natural that he writes the lyrics for the music that he wrote. And then there are a couple songs left, and then we just kind of equally divide them, and it's kind of an easy process. And then in the last stages of the songwriting, we were also together in the studio. The band was rehearsing the songs, and Mark and I were then working on the lyrics together next to each other and helping each other out here and there. And then we also had meetings with a friend of Mark and a colleague who helps us with the lyrics, the grammar, and everything. And then we
Yeah.
kind of help each other out when somebody gets stuck and doesn't know how to, yeah, put the message into words. I guess if we put our heads together, we can come with greater results. And yeah, I think we managed to do that on this album.
Yeah. Is there one song that you wrote the lyrics for that you say, well, I'm specifically proud of the way that my message comes out in the lyrics that I wrote?
Yeah, I think for a spiral, that would definitely be the case because uh, I never actually wrote lyrics that were kind of inspired by a sculpture. So that was kind of a new thing for me. But yeah, I liked the way I write always a lot with metaphors. So And for this song, I remember one night I just couldn't sleep and I had the melody in my head and I was thinking I want to write a different lyric for the second chorus. I don't want to repeat the same chorus. And it just came to me at like 4 a.m. in the morning and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I had to quickly write it down before going back to sleep. And yeah, I think it really portrays the story really well.
You said, well, you had to start well from with well, starting point was sculpture. Um, how did you? What was your starting point? Can you maybe take me there and say, well, that's sculpture, but this was my idea and I wanted to do this, or how did it come about?
Well, it's just seeing the sculpture and knowing that the world is basically in a way destroyed. You can see it from your own perspective when you're going through a difficult time and you have to pick yourself up again. And in order for something to work out in the end, it needs all your love and attention. So that's how I start the song. I think seeds we sow will need our love to grow. And then it continues later on that we are digging through the dirt, mending hearts and heal the hurt, that it's a collective thing. And of course, the Aspiral story of rebuilding society after a war and picking up the pieces. And sometimes you have to get together and do it with a lot of people. But in order for your, how do you say, your dream to come true, everybody still needs to struggle by themselves as well. So you need to be committed and work hard. And that's also a little bit what we do with the band. We are very committed. We work very hard, and writing an album is, yeah, it's not a piece of cake, but it's also a collective, you know, and the passion, the motivation, inspiration leads to great results. And that's also a little bit in the spiral that you need to really work hard in order for things to, yeah, to work.
Yeah. Um, Certain bands that have recorded many albums together, sometimes bands say, well, with each album it gets more difficult because, well,
Yeah.
we know each other too well and we aren't that sensitive anymore to each other. Some other bands say, well, it even gets better with album 6, 7, 8, 9. What's it like for Epica? Is it getting easier for you with all the people to record albums, or is it more of a struggle?
No, it's not a struggle, but of course, six individuals together with different opinions, it's about compromises, and everybody has their own vision. So, but we all know what each other's strengths are, so we focus on that. And yeah, of course, we never fight, and we want the best result for Epica. So, but I can, of course, I don't write complete songs, I write vocal lines, but it's, yeah, you have to do concessions. You have to sometimes let ideas go, and it's a pretty smooth process with little bumps only.
Yeah. How many, you said, well, you have each songwriter presents their ideas, and then you work for 1 or 2 weeks, you work on all ideas, and then there comes this, a point where you say, well, now we're going to focus on the songs that really make the album. How many songs were you working on prior to that? Because there's 11 songs on the album. Is it 15 songs, 20 songs, or is it just 13 or?
I don't know. I think around 15 or 16 songs that were there from the beginning. Uh, yeah, and then of course we had three writing camps, and with each writing camp, of course, the selection becomes smaller. But also we learned from, for example, with the holographic principle, we had over 20 songs that we worked on up until the end, finalized the songs, and we kind of felt that that was more quantity than quality. Not that the quality wasn't good enough, but that we were kind of stretched thin, focusing on too many songs. So for this album, we wanted to condense it a little bit to give all the songs the love and attention that they deserve, and yeah, have a better end result than focusing on way too many songs. Also thinking about the schedule that our producer Joost makes over like when we start with the demos, and then he says, okay, then we do record this, and we need to do that, and we need, book the studio and all of that, and arrange the songs, write the scores for the orchestra, the choir, all of that. There's so much work put into that, and the more songs you have, the bigger the workload, and the quality might suffer because of that. Not because the songs are not good, but because you just don't have the time and the funds to make it all work. So we learned from that. So we condensed it a little bit more to really, really refine the songs to, yeah, the best possible version they could be.
What happens to, or what will happen to the four songs that actually got shifted away?
Well, they're never thrown in the trash. For example, I think on this album, there's one song that Isaac wrote that he actually wrote for another album, but didn't make it back then, but made it now. So it's never in the trash. It just waits and ripens or waits for the right timing or the right album.
What song is it?
I don't know. I have to ask him.
Oh yeah, but
I'm not
can
sure which
you?
one that was.
No, how come? Can you remember why it didn't make the previous album, or what previous album, and why it fitted now?
It's sometimes also the structure of the song, or that there's just still something missing, but you can't figure it out at that moment what it is that it's actually missing. And then, of course, due to deadlines and time pressure, you cannot make it work. And then you just need to let it go and rework the song at a later time when you found the missing ingredients that can
Yeah.
sometimes come a couple of years later.
Last question. What is the Epica goal? Do you have some sort of with the band, with all the band members, some sort of goal that you still want to perceive, or what are your thoughts on the future? What do you want to is it the road, the trip, or do you also have goals that you want to achieve?
I just would like to keep on touring for all of us, that it's sustainable, combining it with our family lives, of course. We have now many Epica children in the group. So yeah, just see where the road takes us. I mean, not was it last year or the year before? I kind of lost track. We also never would have imagined that we got the opportunity to play with Metallica, for example. You just don't know what the future holds. But I hope that we can continue writing music, touring the world, and yeah, we'll see where the road takes us. I mean, I'm
And
very grateful that we already made it to 23 years, and of course, we're already planning for a 25th anniversary. So yeah, we have lots of cool plans, and we're still motivated, and we'll just keep on going until till we can't.
what was it like for you to actually to open for a band like Metallica?
Yeah, that felt very surreal. I mean, getting the phone call, I remember the manager wrote to me, "Call me back now." And I thought, what happened? Somebody died, or uh, did I do something wrong? But that was, of course, time was of the essence. We had to confirm that we could do the shows, and it was very last minute. Yeah, meeting the band, of course, 16 or 14-year-old Simone would have never imagined meeting those metal icons, let alone play as a musician myself and being welcomed by them, because yeah, they really treated us amazingly. We felt very welcome. And the shows themselves they were also very unique because they had a different stage setup, this round stage. So not a typical thing, which was really refreshing in a way to do a show like that. And the show was not choreographed. So I just thought, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm just gonna enjoy it and not think too much about it. But of course, when everybody hears the name Metallica, I'm like, oh, you played with Metallica. And I thought, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you stay in touch? Is it something that maybe, well, once you've met those guys and you actually have a click, how does it work? Is it just a one-off, or do you stay in touch and maybe you will, well, open up again for them, or
I don't
how
know.
does it work?
management are in contact. I don't have James's phone number, unfortunately.
I was thinking maybe doing your new solo album with James then.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Could be. Well, Simona, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And well, good luck with this new cycle of album and touring.
Thank you very much. I'm excited.
Yes.